Good afternoon, Central Ohio, and thanks for joining us here for a live edition of our 10 Weather Impact Show here on your Monday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Aaron White, and it's been pretty quiet here the last several days. We had a lot of sunshine over the weekend and really some warm conditions, of course, up into the 80s. It was a little breezy in some parts of the region here yesterday, and the breeze, of course, brought in some of the warmer conditions with those temperatures up in the 80s, and it is still warm today. But today is where we're starting to see the change because we got more clouds building in. We even have a few rain showers out there, and a lot more rain is in the forecast here for tomorrow. So let's go ahead and dive into things here this afternoon as we are tracking a lot of cloud cover here again across Central Ohio right now. Here's a live look at Columbus where you can see it is pretty overcast, and we are also tracking a few rain showers on the radar. But right now 77 degrees, and we may get to 80 still if we can get a little bit more sunshine, but otherwise, we are going to be stuck into the 70s because of the clouds and those few scattered showers. But here over the course of the next 12 hours, again, I think we could get to 80 degrees here still between 3 and 5 o'clock. But otherwise, temperatures will start to cool back down into the 60s here for tonight. Now, with those 60s in the forecast, we are also seeing some more moisture building in. So we're starting to see a little more humidity, and this increase in moisture, of course, will fuel our chance for rain here late tonight and for tomorrow, as we are tracking a weather maker that's going to bring us a pretty good amount of rainfall here across the state. So a lot to look forward to. It's going to help with the drought conditions, but not going to be quite enough to really break the drought. We are more than 5 inches below normal. Now we could see at least an inch of rainfall for several locations, so of course that's going to help, but just not quite there yet. So we'll be watching them for more chances as we go through the rest of the month. But as we look at the radar right now, we had a couple rain showers just south of the Columbus area around Circleville, Chillicothe, and Waverly. Those have kind of really fallen apart, but it's also a sign that we're seeing some more moisture building in. We had it just over the last couple of hours closer to noon, but those have really since fallen apart. Maybe a couple sprinkles still possible here with some of that cloud cover. You can see now still moving through the area just east of Columbus now, getting closer to Buckeye Lake. More rain back to the south and west. And as we zoom things out, looking at the larger picture, we can really see what's going on here this afternoon. And a couple things that I want you to focus in on. And one of them is here where you see the clouds and some of that rain, but also back to the north and west with more clouds and rain. So what we're looking at here, this is a system that's building in from the south, but this is also pulling in moisture into Ohio and Indiana, bringing us a little bit more of the humidity, but it's bringing us the moisture. And what's going to happen with all that in place, we have a cold front that's building in from the north and west. That's the rain that you see there across Iowa and Wisconsin. That's going to move to the south and east, and it's going to interact with this moisture, allowing for us to get a pretty good amount of rainfall here as early as tonight, and that will continue here through tomorrow. So let's time this out on the hour-by-hour forecast. Going through this afternoon, again, a couple spotty showers not out of the question, but more rain that arrives here late this evening. We have here just a light rain showers around 10 p.m. That will continue through the night, and we may catch a break before more rain arrives here by tomorrow morning, and there could be some thunderstorms embedded with this. Now, we're not talking about any severe weather, but some heavy downpours. Likely a possibility here where you see some of the yellow and orange showing up there on the future projection here as we go through the day. Continues even into the noon hour, and notice where we have some more of the heavier rainfall really focused near and south of Interstate 70, and that's where we might actually see some of the highest amounts of rainfall here through not just tomorrow, but even as early as Wednesday. We could still see some rainfall lingering into our Wednesday morning, but likely most of that clearing out of here by Tuesday night. But here's a look at the projection of how much rainfall we could see here across the region, and notice as most of the amounts are at least a half an inch, but some locations, and I think pretty widespread amounts south of I-70, could see 1 to 2 inches, maybe upwards of 2.5 inches of rainfall here through the next 36 hours. So this is going to help. It's going to really help with the drought conditions across the state. But like I said, we still need a little bit more rainfall to really break us out of the drought. Another couple of systems like this later into October and perhaps even into November will definitely help us out. Now, the other thing that's going to be happening after the rain clears out, that cold front will move in and it's going to knock our temperatures down to more fall-like conditions as we get into the middle of the week. So we got 70s to near 80 here today. We're still in the low 70s tomorrow, and then we drop to highs only in the 60s for Wednesday and Thursday. And it's not just the high temperatures a bit cooler. Overnight, our temperatures get down to the 40s, and even by Friday morning, we could see some upper 30s on the map. So cooler, more fall-like conditions are on the way after we get some good rainfall here tomorrow. Now for today, still around 80, a few scattered showers out there this afternoon. More rain coming in tonight, and that will continue into tomorrow. Down to 65, so it's going to still be a pretty mild night with the humidity around and just all that moisture that we have, allowing for the rain here on your Tuesday. High temperatures around 72 degrees here for tomorrow with showers and storms likely across the region. And then notice those temperatures cooling on down. We got more sunshine here for Wednesday and Thursday. Highs are only in the mid-60s, so nice fall-like conditions are expected here as we look ahead to your Wednesday and Thursday, but we do rebound as we get into the weekend. More sunshine still, and highs are back into the lower 70s, so still looking good here, but hey, at least we're done with the 90s and likely done with at least the 80s for after today, at least for the next 7 days, but it could still warm up here as we continue through the month of October. Now, something new today. This is very interesting, actually, something that happened just a few months ago back in North Dakota. The National Weather Service has confirmed the first EF5 tornado in the United States in more than a decade. This tornado hit Enderlin, North Dakota on June 20th of this year. Now, after months of reviewing the damage, research and more analysis, the National Weather Service determined that the damage was consistent with an EF5 and actually estimated the winds to be the max winds greater than 210 miles per hour. You can see some of the damage there around Enderlin. This was taken the next day after the tornado occurred around 11 p.m. on a Friday night. This was on Saturday back in mid-June. And the last EF5 tornado that actually was in the United States actually hit Moore, Oklahoma back in May of 2013. So really wild to see just how devastating that tornado was. That again was in North Dakota, Enderlin, just to the south and west of Fargo. So back in June of this year. Now also something happening in this week's climate report. Investigation found that many hospitals are actually prone to flooding from hurricane. Here's Jesse Mitchell with that report.
We're keeping an eye on the climate. Here's what you need to know. President Trump is putting big money back into coal. The administration announced it will open more than 13 million acres of federal land for coal leasing and is offering $625 million to expand and boost coal energy production. The plan aims to lower energy costs, but critics argue the pollution generated by coal power is too risky for human health. As hurricane season winds down, a recent CBS News and KFF Health News investigation found 170 U.S. hospitals face catastrophic flood risk. These facilities hold nearly 30,000 patient beds, and flooding from heavy storms could jeopardize care, block emergency rooms, and force evacuations. As climate change continues to fuel heavier precipitation, the Trump administration's cuts to FEMA programs are making hospitals even more vulnerable. And finally, the Earthshot Prize has announced this year's 15 finalists. The prize is one of the world's top environmental awards, created to support innovative solutions to climate change. The only U.S. finalist in this year's competition is Form Energy, a West Virginia-based company developing an iron-air battery that can store power for days at low cost. The company is already bringing hundreds of jobs to the Rust Belt, with more on the way. That's your Climate Watch. For the latest on climate and environmental news, go to cbsnews.com and follow us on Instagram at CBS News Planet. I'm Jesse Mitchell in New York.
And now to our continuing coverage of 1 year in Boomtown. We are taking a deeper look into Ohio's aerospace sector, which is booming. We first told you about this in August and how the Ohio State University will soon become the first ever science park in the U.S. Meteorologist Meredith Garfalo has more on how progress is already being made by students who will contribute to its success.
The story of every startup starts in a garage somewhere. But at Ohio State University, the Vista Science Park, well, that story is starting right here in Columbus, Ohio.
For this experiment, it allows me to do two-dimensional flow.
Cassidy Brozovic began as a freshman at Ohio State University with a focus on ecological engineering. But by her junior year, she shifted to a new focus that was out of this world.
I never would have thought this is what I was going to study.
Instead of learning about plants on Earth, Cassidy's attention is now on the stars.
And for some reason, it was this itch I couldn't get rid of. And I really thought the idea of growing plants in space was just this new call that I had. So I ended up really pursuing that and deciding to stick around for grad school.
Today, Cassidy is in her third year of grad school. She's conducting research that will continue to put Ohio on the map as a leader of innovation in the space industry.
What I love about Central Ohio is both the standard of living, the quality of life, and the opportunity that we have here to do something transformational. We are an ascendant part of what it means to be a contributor to the future of the United States.
My goal is to
The research Cassidy and her classmates are doing is connected to VISTA, the Voyager Institute for Space, Technology, and Advancement. The science park will be an epicenter for research and development, allowing companies to do business in Columbus and craft unique opportunities for students.
While we are in the first and early chapters of what will be a long and exciting story of research and innovation and education and entrepreneurship, we're already up and running here.
And while the goal is to attract business from across the country, VISTA is already seeing homegrown innovation.
We have 3 startup companies that have come from our students. So innovation and entrepreneurship, especially on the part of our students, is extremely important for us to build opportunity here in Ohio.
Bringing to Central Ohio more students looking for opportunity and contributing to the growth and development of a continuously booming economy.
Everything we do in research, especially when we apply the young minds and the excitement and energy of our students, will create social, economic, educational, and quality of life outcomes for people here in Columbus, Central Ohio, and the state of Ohio, but I also believe worldwide.
Yeah, really cool to see some of the stuff that they are doing there at the Ohio State University. And there are actually already more than a dozen tenants at Vista, and an international search continues to lock in more as the pre-construction phase is underway, with local developers Elford Construction leading the project. So again, some really cool stuff happening here in Columbus, here in Boomtown. Now, also finally today, check out some of the new videos sent to us here. This is actually some really cool stuff. This is actually out of the Australia area. So the nights are getting colder and shorter, of course, as we're into the fall season here in the northern hemisphere here in North America. But of course, a different story on the southern hemisphere, where it is springtime. And just look at the fall or the spring bloom there happening there in Australia. This is one of the biggest floral events that is in full bloom right now. So a really cool sight to just kind of see the difference. You know, of course, we're going into the colder season, but also nice to see the spring bloom happening there down in Australia. Now, also something a little bit closer to us here in the United States. This is actually from New Mexico, where weather conditions proved a bit favorable here yesterday for Albuquerque, where they are in day 2 of the 2025 Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, where they have their nice big hot air balloon launch. They had a little bit of an issue back on Saturday. Some strong winds kind of prevented the planned launch, but they were successful on Sunday. As you can see, many hot air balloons there in the sky on a beautiful day with really crystal clear blue skies. And just look at how many hot air balloons were there for again, the International Balloon Fiesta that is taking place right now in New Mexico. So some really cool stuff happening down there, and some pretty quiet weather as well for them. And we have the quiet weather here, at least for now. But again, we are tracking some rain in the picture here by tonight and going into tomorrow. So that'll do it for us here on the Weather Impact Show here on 10 TV Plus. But coming up later on this evening, meteorologist Michael Behrens will be in with an update on the forecast, talking about the rain and again how much rainfall we can expect here for tomorrow and Wednesday across central Ohio. So until then, you can of course catch more news and weather online as always at 10tv.com.